What's going on, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Jake and Joe Postgame Show covering your Cincinnati Bengals, brought to you by First Star Logistics here on the First Star Media YouTube channel, where we have awesome giveaways for you every week. And this season, it looks like we're going to do a lot of commiserating with Bengals fans, a lot of venting with Bengals fans. I'm Jake Liscow. He's Joe Goodberry. We together are the Jake and Joe Bengals Postgame Show. And this week, we've got those WWE Championship belts to give away for you. Next week, we've got custom jerseys to give away for you. Make sure you're keeping up with First Star Logistics on X at First Star Log for all of the giveaway details. You'll find all of the information there. And if you're looking for a new job, looking for work in the Cincinnati area, check out firststarlogistics.com for the job postings with First Star Logistics. If you'd like to join the team with Joe and I, one of the fastest growing and best companies to work for in the Cincinnati area. And I wish we could say that about the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe, but we can't. We also, reminder, are giving away one of those championship belts in the chat live on YouTube. We'll have a winner from the X giveaway we'll be announcing at the end of the show. And if you stick with us in the YouTube chat here, First Star Logistics is your hashtag to enter today. You only need to enter it once. Multiple entries in the chat will not get you multiple entries in the draw. You'll have a chance to win that belt. Joe, another embarrassing performance really by the Cincinnati Bengals, except I would say not quite as bad as the last couple of weeks. Mostly because the defense showed some teeth in the first half of this game.
Yeah, weird game. Third straight blowout. You could call it that, because I think at halfway through the third quarter, we felt absolutely terrible about this team. Like, how is Jake Browning still out there? How hasn't he not been benched? Let's fire everyone at halftime type of thing. They got 3 points with a field goal kick from McPherson right before half, but that was it. There was nothing. It was probably the worst quarterback play in a game we've seen in a long time, man. Like Gus Frerotte days, it felt horrible. It felt like you could not complete a pass downfield with Browning. Like, he was skittish in the pocket. There was honestly the offensive line through that portion of the game right there at the third quarter, until the Orlando Brown sack on the flea flicker play. I felt really good about the O-line and pass protection. I was like, they're doing great. Like, this is, if Burrow had this kind of day in the pocket, he probably would have diced up the Lions defense. The Lions were definitely scared about their secondary, right? The Bengals felt confident going in that game, like, our receivers can beat these corners, and they could. We ultimately saw that. But at that point, it was light everything on fire, drop a bomb on the stadium type thing when all the fans leave. You know, I'm just joking here, but point being, it was bad, really bad. And somehow they clawed back into it a little bit. The Lions definitely were on cruise control. Dan Campbell was punting. Like, the intensity felt really, really low at that point. Yeah. And for them to get back into it and give us a little bit of hope, probably worst case scenario, because honestly, I was thinking, number one, blow it all up. Number two, you got to do something at quarterback. And then they may have come away at the end of this game thinking, you know what, if we could just get Jake Browning going a little bit earlier, we could be all right and we could be in these games. But I think it's fool's gold. He was so bad to start.
I mean, he wasn't even good by the end of the game, even if you include the garbage time stuff. And the reason you can call it a blowout, Joe, is, like I told you before we started recording, the only time the Bengals offense moved the ball in this game was a 2-minute drive at the end of the first half, and when they were trailing by at least 18 points after that. They were only trailing by 14 points at that point. But after that, in the second half, they come out, immediately go down 3 scores. And once they're down 3 scores, then you see the 3 straight touchdown drives. But even then, even with 3 straight touchdown drives for this team in the second half, the closest the score got was on 2 occasions in the second half. It was an 11-point game. When they got it to a 2-score game, the Lions answered. The Lions then eventually got the safety. The Bengals couldn't recover the onside kick. Shout out Evan McPherson for a great effort on that onside kick. But what separates this game from the previous games to me, Joe, is like you said, there are some things you can look at and say, okay, those things are better. You can. Now, overall, it's terrible. The fact that I had to tweet multiple times during the game, like, you got to bench him at this point, right? You got to bench him now, right? If there's no defenders, and we'll look at this play. Let's just look at the Mike Gesicki interception. Let's just start there. Let's look at the dots first, because this actually is an incredibly bad interception, and they're all pretty bad. But this one, and we're going to start with the dots, and we'll look at the play. This one was if there's nobody playing in the secondary for the Detroit Lions on this play, this is an incomplete pass. If you look at where the ball is going, and you can see it on the dots, and you can see it when you're actually watching the game itself. So watch where Browning throws it. Here he's throwing it. And maybe if the ball's out early over here, like the ball's already out and it's
Right.
accurate, maybe this can actually be completed. Maybe this isn't a terrible decision. But no, ball comes out as Anzalone's getting into the window. And look at where it's going. The trajectory here is well behind Gesicki. Like by the time the ball would get to this depth where Gesicki is running, Gesicki's like on the numbers.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that, right? Like by the time it's actually caught here, Gesicki's well beyond the point of which he could have caught the ball. Like that's the kind of level of quarterback play we have from Jake Browning in this game. It's just like triple coverage stuff, skittish in the pocket, not dealing with pressure well. Sometimes the ball's coming out too quickly to predetermined reads, and when he holds on to it and tries to read things out, he's late. 2 of the interceptions were late, inaccurate throws. The third interception, the deep ball, was woefully inaccurate. The accuracy for Browning in the first half of this game and until garbage time really was just dreadful, and you can't really play with quarterbacks like that.
You can't. You won't. The first 3 quarters, you won't win. How many games do they win all year if Jake Browning's your quarterback? 1, because you get lucky and you run into maybe the Titans or some other terrible team, the Browns maybe. But other than that, that's like level of play to go 0-16. That's how you end up with the top pick in the draft. You can't have that. That is unacceptable. Through that point, I was going to put together, one of my main points was going to be coming. I was already starting to think, like, how do we even talk about this? I was going to put the yardage and touchdown and catches numbers that they're projected for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins through this point in the season. Like, you're paying the 2 highest cap hits in the league combined for these 2 receivers, and you're going to give them 600 and 500 yards respectively, and what, 5 touchdowns and 4 touchdowns? Like, that's crazy. You can't have this. You can't keep going. You're going to have a mutiny in the locker room. And then you see Jake air it out in that final 18 to 20 minutes or so, and Jamar is Jamar. We want to talk about some of the positives here, not just dunk on Jake Browning all day. Jamar Chase, thank you for giving us some entertainment, some hope in this game, and just some good plays. That sideline catch in the end zone, first of all, he's working his butt off to get over there. He's way back in the formation too. I don't think we've ever seen that from him unless he was getting a screen. So it was interesting to see how the defense would react to it. But anyways, he gets a free release up the field, and the play is over, and you got the play great. And he starts working with Browning, the only guy really initially working with Browning until T does later. Okay, so he sees it right away. Now he's got to fight between T and the defender, get through that. And this catch, originally, my son and I, we were like, did he catch that? There's no way he got that second foot down. But the second foot was actually dragging the entire time as he hands catch it cleanly to the sideline. Just what a play by Jamar.
Honestly, this is a good throw for Jake Browning too.
No doubt.
I mean, you got to give the guy credit where it's due, I guess. This is legitimately a really good throw into a tight window on the run right before he's about to get absolutely crushed by Aiden Hutchinson, who hit him many times very viciously in this game, including one play where he lined up off sides. But this one is a great throw and a heck of a catch for Jamar Chase. Jamar, to his credit, finally put up some numbers with Jake Browning for the 3rd time when these guys have been playing together in their careers, twice against Jacksonville, now in this game against the Detroit Lions. And Jamar's still really good. T. Higgins has got to be frustrated. I mean,
someone in the comments said he was actually trying to throw it to T. Higgins. I just missed. Right.
Yeah. I mean, the way his accuracy was in this game, you wouldn't, you could believe it, right? But my first reaction on this play was actually like, he held the ball way too long. Like, ball's got to be out. By the time the pressure gets there, like, ball's got to be out. Where are we going? And then you kind of see the replay, and there's actually nowhere for him to go with the ball. So it's going to be really interesting to see on film review how many of the times he bails the pocket early, because it felt like he bailed the pocket early in this game, or like could have had the ball out when he becomes a runner, when the pass rush starts to get home, that it feels like there's got to be somebody open. And so when we see the all 22 and we're able to see the routes happening downfield, I feel like we're probably going to see some opportunities of Browning missed in this game. That was my first instinct here. I don't think that was the case on this particular play.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It's a good job by the 2 of them of staying alive and staying with it, sticking together. And sometimes you just got to throw it up to Jamar, and that's all we want. And early in the game, when a couple of those interceptions, we're just trying to throw it up and make a play, and they just were they're horrible throws. And this one was a good one, but you got to keep going to that well. You can't get, and if Browning gets credit for anything, it's that, it didn't phase him. He kept throwing these balls. And here's one here where Jamar's just isolated. This is like a 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 14. So it's a 3rd and long, but he hits that stop and go. Absolutely kills Meek Robertson. I don't know where the safety is supposed to be, the way Robertson squats on it, but he destroys the corner there and runs for him. As easy of a touchdown as Jamar, I think, has had in this league. Jake can't miss this throw, right? And he's probably even nervous seeing how open Jamar is on this, but he nailed it, and what a route.
I was nervous when I saw the ball go up, and you see Jamar have to accelerate a little bit forward at first, but it's tough to overthrow Jamar Chase. He can go track those deep balls down if you put enough air under him, and there you see he finds it, settles under it nicely. Yeah, I was shocked there wasn't a safety over the top there. I don't know what the Lions were doing in coverage on this play. I still don't know. We didn't see an all-22 angle of it. This was a play after Rock Ya-Sin, I think, for the second time left the game, so
I wondered if the
definitely a safety on the other side of the field, probably as a result of them going to like their 5th corner, 6th corner. They're very deep on the depth chart at corner were the Lions in this game. And I think they had some injuries. Branch was dealing with injuries throughout this game too, going in and out of the game. So I'm sure that's something to do with it, but I was just shocked it wasn't like just a too high look, like either cover 2, which it doesn't look like it was, but maybe it's just a coverage bust. Either way, these are the garbage time highlights for the offense. Meanwhile, the defense in the first half of this game, Joe, is a reason that I came away feeling anything different about this game than previous games, because they get punched in the mouth on the first drive of the game. It's like a 58-yard touchdown drive. Really bad special teams, by the way, to start the game as well, from kickoff coverage to kick returns to Rico kicking 3 touchbacks in this game. Had like a 25-yard net punt as the Bengals punted from the 43, I want to say, would have been a 61-yard field goal. So the defense after that drive found some answers. And like in the first half, if you have a competent offense in this game, I think it could have been an interesting game, because you get Trey Hendrickson with a strip sack, beating up on a tackle that shouldn't be playing NFL football at left tackle for the Detroit Lions, which, like, finally they got there, because the way the first drive started was, again, dropping Joseph Osai into coverage, letting Trey Hendrickson deal with Penei Sewell instead of getting Trey Hendrickson going against Giovanni Manu, and stop dropping defensive ends into coverage, please, for the love of God.
I wanted that one, Jake.
Oh, I'm so sick of it, Joe, because I've been complaining about it for at least 3 weeks.
If not
but
months.
You get the
over
adjustments.
The summer, it was a conversation.
You get the adjustments. They get the Trey Hendrickson strip sack, and then the offense goes 3 and out. And then, despite the offense going 3 and out, and I think it was
you got another stop.
This was actually a good punt for Rico. That was one of his better punts. The defense gets another stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the very next play, interception for Jake Brown. And this is the one that was intended for Jamar Chase. This is deep in the Bengals' own territory. This ball is late. This ball is inside. Horribly inaccurate. Inexcusably inaccurate for an NFL quarterback. And I know I'm sitting here on YouTube saying that, but man, we can all agree on that one. That's a terrible interception. That's a mistake you cannot have. And then I don't blame the defense for giving up a touchdown from that spot when the Lions start on the, 17-yard line?
Yeah, that's right. So you give up 14 in the first half, and I thought largely they played well. I mean, if this wasn't fully functioning Joe Burrow offense,
they forced 2 more punts after that in the first half.
This is probably a 14 or 10-7 Bengals lead at halftime. If you have Joe Burrow, you feel good about it. Instead, it's 14-3 at halftime because, I mean, Jake Browning's interception, you're just putting your offense in terrible, or your defense in terrible situations. But yeah, the dropping into coverage, it's funny because we talked about this, I want to say 2 weeks ago, where the first drive for the El Golden defense has been like, what are you guys doing? Every time, except for the one game. And then it was kind of flopped from there. It's like he's almost got a plan. This is what we're going to do on the first half. And then we're going to throw it out. And maybe that's because they look terrible. And then they're going to light it on fire. We're going to do some different stuff afterwards.
And remember what they were trying early in this game. Early in this game, they're playing with 5 defensive linemen on the field. They're putting 3 defensive tackles out there. They're putting 2 guys at edge, the 2 defensive ends at edge, and they're putting Oren Burks on the field. And then they're like, maybe we need to get, Barrett Carter out there for some plays, and Demetrius Knight out there in some packages. They're throwing a bunch of personnel packages at the Lions 12 personnel to try to figure out what they wanted to match it with early.
Yeah, and that's what was beating them. So they're out there in a 3-4, and they really don't have the ends, the outside linebacker edges to do that, right? When you're having Trey Hendrickson and Joseph Osai in those spots, and you're asking Osai to drop. First of all, that touchdown to Laporta, he's got to defend the run, then turn his back and run, and then get back in it. That is an impossible ask. I don't care which defensive end that is in the league. Like, Osai is a terrible tackler, right? And he looked clunky as hell doing it. But at the same time, you can't ask that and reasonably ask that guy to cover Sam Laporta in the flats.
Yeah,
and they come out in the next drive.
Maybe Micah Parsons, if you had to pick one guy that's doing
Abdul
that.
Carter, maybe these like freak, young dudes that maybe could do it. But then you go to the flip the next drive, they do it again and flip it the other way. Now Cam Sample's doing it. That's even worse. So like they got out of it pretty quickly as they saw it wasn't working, and they found something that did work. So to the defense's credit, they did, until it was an 11-point game and we get into the fourth quarter, and you got to stop the Lions if you really want a shot. The Lions just put their head down and just ran that ball down their throat. And then play action, long to Slaw, over route. And then Cam Taylor-Britt just can't run on the team. Cam Taylor-Britt used to be fast. I understand Isaac Tesla is also fast, but that gap was growing as that play was going. And I was just like, man, I can't believe it. That's the one you're targeting. And again, of course you are, because Cam's been the guy to target in the Bengals secondary. To be honest with you, like, over the last few weeks, watching DJ Turner, other than that Jags game, Turner's been really good, especially on film. He's been clicking, closing really quick, looks fluid, looks great in man coverage. I'm really happy with the way Dax is playing. I'm happy with Jordan Battle, other than the missed tackles. Well, sometimes his effort just gives up a little bit and he goes a little soft on it. Geno Stone gave up one really bad play in this game that ended up being a touchdown. But other than that, he has been so much better than last year. It's really like they're picking Cam Taylor-Britt out and getting to him, because the pass rush just isn't getting there often enough. Yeah. And they have to send these blitzes in order to generate a pass rush. And they're only doing it least amount in the league, sending these blitzes. And it's like, okay, you're really in a tough spot here, because you're not getting a pass rush up front. You're dropping guys into coverage that aren't helping you. So you can pick on those guys if you want to. Goff started, I want to say 8 of 8, maybe 9 of 9 in this game. And then because you've got an obvious guy to pick on and no pass rush, the defense can only do so much throughout the game until the offense is completely spent. Now the defense is spent. And what are you really evaluating at that point?
19 of 23 overall for Jared Goff on the day. Pressured on 26% of his dropbacks, so he completes 82.5% of his passes for 11.2 yards per attempt. By comparison, where Jake Browning, I think early in this game, was only being pressured on 20 to 30% of his dropbacks. That number, according to PFF charting, finishes at, got any guesses for the overall pressured rate on Jake Browning in this game? 51%. It was really bad in the second half when the Bengals were forced to be a drop back passing team. Another thing for the Bengals early in this game, they were going heavy play action. They were a heavy screen game early in this game, and the screen game for the Bengals in this game was dismal. They had 4 screens that went for a total of 3 yards. They had 13 play action dropbacks, 12 attempts on those plays that went for 5.1 yards per attempt. 2 of Jake Browning's 3 interceptions on play action plays in this game. So it's not like that was working very well, but where we started this conversation was on the defensive side of the ball, and we were talking about coverage and finding weak links. And in this game, especially early, outside of the Cam Taylor-Britt play, a preponderance of the targets just went after the Bengals linebackers. They just found ways to get those wide receivers and tight ends isolated on linebackers in zone coverages or defensive ends. Logan Wilson was targeted 5 times in this game. Demetrius Knight was targeted 3 times in this game. Barrett Carter was targeted 2 times in this game. Joseph Osai was targeted 2 times in this game. Cam Sample was targeted in this game, and Oren Burks was targeted in this game. That's a whole lot of targets for linebackers and defensive ends. For defensive backs that were targeted in this game, Joe, 1 for Dax, 1 for DJ Turner, 2 for Jordan Battle, according to PFF charting, and 3 for Cam Taylor-Britt. That's it. Out of all the 21 targets in this game, 6 of them targeted at defensive backs, if I can count. Maybe 7. Maybe I'm bad at counting.
Yeah, so that goes to the point I'm feeling after this game is like, the DBs are okay other than Cam Taylor-Britt being rotated, and it's really their offenses aren't worried about it. They're isolating these linebackers. Those first couple of drives as well, it felt like that. I thought Oren Burks had a bad angle on one. I thought Logan Wilson had a couple of bad angles. He doesn't look as quick. That first game back, man, was for Logan Wilson, that Browns opener. I was like, man, he looks great. What are we all talking about? Logan Wilson's might be over the hill. And then you see the last few weeks, and I'm like, he just might be. He doesn't move as well anymore.
This was the
And
worst game of the year for him, I think.
yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like, it seems to be, is he getting tired? What's happening? Maybe that's why they started to rotate some other linebackers in there, trying to get Barrett Carter some snaps. I get it. I'd want to develop him too. They were high on Carter. But yeah, that's, if you were to rank like
every snap today, though.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the rotations were more on night then, huh? And
the
going more
rotations,
3 linebackers.
Yeah, Jordan Battle, DJ Turner, Logan Wilson, and Dax Hill played all 62 snaps on defense.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're ranking
rotation,
like the issues with the defense, I would say the pass rush is number 1, and then the linebacker play has been number 2. And you know, it's hard to have that in the front 7 and feel good about the defense overall. While we like parts that have happened, you somehow give up 30 plus points again. And it's largely, to me, it's because the offense has been such a massive failure.
I mean, you give up 2 touchdown drives of less than 30 yards off of bad Jake Browning turnovers, 14 points off a turnover in this game. Eventually, when you're you're exposed to.
We should talk about the safety also.
We can talk about the safety. I don't want to talk about the safety. We can talk about the safety. I don't think I have the play.
Oh, okay.
We can talk about it anyway.
Because
I just wanted to finish on the defense.
Okay, you do that.
I wanted to shout out Miles Murphy for getting home on a sack in this game. Had another clean pass rush win when he was isolated on Giovanni.
Could you see his reaction? Could you feel it?
Left tackle. Yeah, he was stoked. Yeah. I would be too. He was very excited. I thought TJ Slayton played a really good first half. I thought Trey Hendrickson played a good game as a pass rusher, as you would expect him to.
Right.
And yeah, you mentioned DJ Turner earlier. I thought DJ Turner didn't really notice him in this game. He was targeted, what did I say? 1 time. Had the pass breakup on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and if that's the only time we're calling your name in a game, we'll take that. Run defense still leaves something to be desired from DJ Turner. Obviously, that this, kind of the way his game goes, but just wanted to shout out a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball that I thought played well, especially in the first half. And where overall, obviously, the takeaways from this game are still going to remain overwhelmingly negative. There's a couple nice things to say about a few of those players on defense. But yeah, we can talk about the safety, Joe. I'll find the play.
Because there's and I posted one of that play. I wanted to bring it up because it's such a point of Dylan Fairchild getting beat here. And I think it's a larger trend of the Bengals getting beaten by stunts and twists, the tackle end stunts that have killed them all year. You watch Fairchild look to the left as if, I wonder if someone's coming. Do I have to help out Orlando Brown on this? And then he's too late to get the delayed blitz at linebacker here. You see him just real quickly. I don't know why he is. Like, you could have seen from the front, nobody's coming that way.
Well,
but I think they are
like,
so worried about it.
He must be expecting Hutchinson to loop.
Yeah.
But I don't know where his eyes are going here. This is entirely on his eyes. Because as soon as he looks away, by the time he gets back, he doesn't even lay way too far outside and misses. Yeah, he gets so late.
Yeah, whiffs. And I would love to see what's going on in coverage. They're dropping into cover 2. I can tell by the way the middle linebacker is screaming down the middle of the field. And it looks like a lot of these routes are deep. So I don't even know who's available other than a check down now. It's just he doesn't even have the chance to get there.
I mean, this looks like it could even be 989, the classic Bengals imported play from LSU. Just looking at the direction of the routes there, the releases from the wide receivers, the guys releasing into the flats. It could be 2 verticals on the outside with the dig or the post on the inside. And that's obviously going to take a second. I mean, I don't know, man. This isn't a good play from Dylan Fairchild, obviously, especially considering the spot you're in. But we're so deep into garbage time. Maybe it's my apathy speaking here. I had a hard time getting worked up over this one.
It's not that I'm worked up. It's just that I think because they've been killed on the stunts so much this year that I thought this play was notable because there's no reason for his eyes to go left. And yet they do because they're probably drilling it into their heads. Like, we got to get better at these things. And, that's how things start to snowball. And then the counter is a delayed blitz up that side where your eyes, hopefully for a second, just go left, and it beat them. And I thought
for some reason, I don't even think it's a counter. I can't understand why his eyes go left.
But also, I thought the Lions have been beaten a lot on the crossers this year as well. That's one of the biggest. They're one of the defenses have been exposed by that the most this year. So the interception also for Anzalone on that crosser to Gesicki, as you highlighted earlier, I'm like, again, the Lions were like focusing on what our weaknesses are, and difference in the coaching staffs here, right? Is like, the Lions know how to do one thing and then pull the other card, or we are weak here, so let's do this and let's fix this thing here. and where the Bengals have been so opposite. I mean, they've been getting outcoached for how many weeks now, even in the first game, even in the second game, right? I think they've been outcoached in probably every game this year. And just the little things the Lions are doing is one of the better staffs with the longest, tenure here for Dan Campbell to compare them and just say, they just were hitting on finer points that the Bengals don't seem to get to.
It's just such a frustrating team to watch right now. I can't believe Jake Browning made it through this game the way he started. And then rewarded that. I guess Zach Taylor might have opened the door looking at the tweets from those covering the team in person today down at Paycor might have opened the door to making a change at quarterback.
Oh, really?
I mean, what's Brett Rippon going to do? You have any confidence in Brett Rippon coming in here? I mean, not that I
do
have
remember watching
Browning,
him as a prospect, and his deep ball was really nice. That was
well,
about it.
we'll take that because some of the deep balls from Jake Browning in this game, not fun to watch.
No,
not fun to watch. Anything else, Joe, from this game that we want to hit here?
I didn't see what the line has to be for the Packers game next week, but
Let's take a look.
We'll get to that preview show against the Packers. But we are slowly picking up a bigger snowball down the hill here, watching this Bengals team and wondering how bad can it get. They got back in garbage time, but I can imagine that's going to. I'm thinking 10 to 12 points again. Do you have it?
14.5.
Oh my God.
With an over 43, which means what? They think the Bengals are going to score effectively 17 points?
Yeah.
14 points, and the Packers are going to score 28, something like that. That's about right. 28, 14, 42. That's what I mean, we take that, right? You tell me the Bengals are going to score 14 points against Micah Parsons right now?
Oh man, it's going to be we are continuing down this path of figuring out when. And I tweeted during the game, last point then, Zach Taylor's seat has never been hotter than it is right now. And people are like, they won't do anything. Bengals won't fire him. All that is relevant. Has it ever been hotter than this moment right now? No. Is it a 25 out of 100? Probably. It's not that hot, but it's as hot as it's ever been, if not hotter than it's ever been in the Zach Taylor era. And if you continue to lose games like this, what do you think? We're just turning the heat up. It may be a slow burn. They may be cooking on a slow cooker in Cincinnati, but at the same time, it is getting hotter.
Yeah, I think 25 out of 100 is probably putting it mildly, unless when you get to 100, you're firing him on the spot, because I don't think they're going to fire him in season. I still would be shocked.
No, I don't
if
either.
The in-season move comes. If it does, wow, we'll see that they've grown some cojones, but it goes so far beyond that. Maybe this is a topic for the preview show a little bit later in the week. It's not just Taylor. We have to continue to talk about the way this team is put together, from the way they do contracts to the way they draft. It's all kind of coming together to be this problem team that we have at this point, where you have all these guys that are collecting multi-million, 8-digit paychecks over the course of the season, eight-digit contract numbers from this team, and you're just not getting production out of some of these guys. Obviously the guys at the top, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, don't have issues with those deals. Do we have issues with how they came together, the way they were structured? Yeah, we do. And so there's those details that matter. There's the draft picks that have been set on fire. McKinley Jackson active today, by the way. Congratulations. One of the Bengals 2024 third round picks, making it into a football game for the first time in 2025. But when you have picks that are set on fire like that over the course of several years, it's something that you got to talk about too. But we have some sweet stuff to give away, as we always do, courtesy of First Star Logistics. This week we got those WWE Championship belts, and we've got an ex-winner for you there, Joe.
Yeah, this is going to Ryan, number one Who Dey fan on X on Twitter. Congratulations, Ryan. This is a pretty awesome gift, actually.
Yeah, it's a sweet one. So make sure you're checking the YouTube comments for how you can track down your reward, how you can claim your reward. Reminder that you must live in the United States, and we'll have a winner for those of you who have entered the hashtag First Star Logistics in the YouTube chat. Good luck as we let the giveaway roll.
There it goes.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Well,
is this the most fun I've had every Sunday? I don't know.
Yes, it is. Chris Bengal.
Congratulations to Chris Bengal. Sorry to the number one Houday fan out there that you're watching this year, but at least you get a WWE championship belt as well as Chris Bengal. We appreciate everyone out there who's hung out in the YouTube chat with us as we commiserate over another lost week and what looks like a lost season. And man, the Ravens look terrible. The Browns are the Browns. Boy, does this season feel rough the way this thing is going right now. But we've got another late window game at Green Bay next week. Make sure you're following at First Star Log. You'll have a chance to enter the X giveaway. We got those custom jerseys for you. Make sure you're staying tuned for the details about those custom jerseys that will be subject to our giveaway next week. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Jake and Joe Postgame Show. Make sure you check out the Jake and Joe Bengals preview show. That'll be up for you on Friday. And, well, the Bengals are 2-3. They're on a 3-game losing streak. But we're still having fun here with First Star Logistics. And hey, if you're looking for work in the Cincinnati area, make sure you check out firststarlogistics.com for all their job postings and a chance to join one of the fastest growing and best companies to work for in the Cincinnati area. Until Friday, thanks for watching this episode of the Jake and Joe Postgame Show. We'll see you for the preview show next week.